Hi guys, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you are doing well. Okay, so today I'll be speaking on what I titled, the wisdom of silence. Yes, the wisdom of silence. Silence is a very um important tool you use to develop yourself, to become self-control. And aside from using it to develop yourself to become self-control and conscious of the kind of things you say and knowing when to even speak, it also has some spiritual benefits that is attached to it. In the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 7, and it says, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. This verse reminds us that there is need to know when to speak and when to refrain from speaking. Okay, there is time for everything on the surface of this earth, including knowing when to speak and when not to speak. All right, do not be hasty in just saying things without even thinking about them. Before you say something, make sure that what you're saying is something that honors God, something that will not destroy someone else's life, something that will give value to somebody. Don't just speak because you have the mouth to speak. All right, so there are some benefits that are attached to keeping silent, or rather knowing when to speak. And one of these benefits is it helps us to actually create space to hear God. You cannot hear God when you're always talking. Of course, you need to calm your spirit. You need to sometimes just stay alone, stay in your quiet place and be quiet. Like in that state of solitude, you get to hear God's voice, and you know the kind of voice that is speaking to you. You know how to discern the voice that is speaking to you and know if it's actually the voice of God that is speaking to you, or your own voice, or the voice of the enemy. All right, that is what I mean by it's helping you to create space to hear God's voice. Okay, so the second benefit that comes with knowing when to speak is the fact that it helps us to control our speech and stay away from gossip and unnecessary conflicts. If you notice, a lot of people that get into trouble or problems are those people that don't have zip on their lips, people that cannot control their mouth. They are the ones that usually get into trouble because they would always want to say something. Every little thing that passes by, they want to talk about it. They cannot mind their business. So in essence, you staying silent actually gives you that ability to exercise or develop self-control in knowing when to speak and when not to speak, and that will also help you to stay out of trouble. All right, so the next benefit that comes with knowing when to speak is the fact that it actually brings us closer to God. Okay, it brings us closer to God. It's similar to the first point that I mentioned earlier. So when you're silent, you kind of create this close relationship with God, because God does not operate, he does not just act in rowdy places. He looks for a calm place to showcase his power and showcase his power entirely. Yes, he does not just show himself in a rowdy place or in a very noisy place. He looks for calm vessels. Okay, so in conclusion, Practicing silence with wisdom actually leads to better decision making. It leads to better decision making, and it leads to, creating deeper intimacy with God, and it also helps to build our spiritual growth. Staying silent, or keeping silence rather, it's not just about withholding back your words. No, it's not about just withholding back your words. It's all about knowing and choosing when to speak in a way and manner that honors and glorifies God. That is what keeping silent is all about. Okay, because a lot of persons think that anything that comes or anything that happens, they must react. There are some things that actually happens that you don't need to react, and all you need to do is just to step back and watch. People may not really understand that action that you have taken, but you alone knows exactly what you're doing. So you keeping silent does not mean that you don't know what you're doing, or does not mean that you're a fool. It simply means that you're trying to analyze the situation, and you're not trying to be hasty in reacting to that thing that has happened. All right, so that is all I have to say concerning this topic, and I hope that you enjoy it and you were able to grab something from all that I have spoken. So guys, I'll see you all in my next video. Do take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.